So my mother told me back in the day, right, when she wanted to learn how to swim, it was very simple. Her father just picked her up, threw her in the river. She gasped, she choked, she was flailing her arms, but in the end, surely but surely, she learned how to swim, right? So now we fast forward this story 60 years later. If someone was to do that, right, take a child and throw him in a river, confirm you kena lawsuit, right? Or you kena one viral video and you will lose custody of your child. So make sure you learn swimming the right way, right? So before we go on to the swimming bit, hi, welcome to Find the Real. It's a podcast where I believe everyone has a story. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your career is. I believe everyone has a story. And my job is to find those stories, curate those stories for your entertainment pleasure. And hopefully you get inspired and it makes your life better. Right? And speaking of making your life better, this person makes everyone's life better, like, especially if you want to learn how to swim. So we've got Jash here with us. Hey, what's up, Jash? How's it going?
Hey, hi, Amir. Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, yeah, man. So Jash is a swim instructor. We will talk a little bit about his journey as a swim instructor, his background as a swimmer as well. You know, the challenges that he faces, and we'll talk a little bit about his business. So, Jash, why don't we start a little bit with, you know, your background? How did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
Okay, so that's the thing. So I'm purely a PJ boy.
Sir, PJ.
Yeah, PJ. But more like it, I'm actually from Taman Tun. So I've been in Taman Tun since I was 9 years old.
Ni budak Taman Tun ni.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my friends do complain. You never come out of Taman Tun, Josh. You know, like, yeah, but I say everything's there.
This is the Subang problem lah. Same.
Yeah.
These Taman Tun fellas, they also the same. Everything in Taman Tun. Where you want to go? One Utama just there. I'm done, right?
Yeah. So how I grew up? Okay, so it's I'm Chinese, fully Chinese.
Really?
But I would say maybe I have a quarter of Hong Kong blood because my grandmother's from Hong Kong.
Oh, no wonder I see the Chao Seng Chi kind of look. No.
They don't know. So my dad obviously he's half Hongki.
Okay.
So typical Chinese family, you know, I have a sister and my mom and dad, and then I have a daughter. And how we grew up, my parents weren't so Asian where, you know, your studies needed to be good and everything. But my dad was saying that, you know, you gotta at least study, you gotta have at least some qualification to a certain extent.
So what did you study, buddy?
So I studied accounting and marketing. In Swinburne University of Technology.
Okay.
Went to Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah. So very, very bland thing, you know, normal Asian household. You know, make sure you don't lose your mother's Tupperware. Very how to say, strict when it came to, like, you know, don't simply go out at the midst of the night. Those kind of things. So being brought up, my parents were very adamant on, like, good values. So, like, greeting people, acknowledging your elders. As long as that you're a good person, you know. You may be the smartest person in the world, but if you're, like, not nice inside, then they say it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
So that's one thing I realized about Asian culture as well. I mean, I was brought up the same way, and I'm sure a lot of our peers were brought up the same way as well.
Correct.
You know, being polite is kind of a basic need or basic requirement for growing up. It's the same for me, you know. Respect your elders, say hello, look people in the eyes when you're talking to them. It's basics, and that is something that, you know, unfortunately in the world that we're living in right now is going a little bit less and less. So hopefully we can educate our kids better, right? To try to drive that agenda of just being a little bit more polite.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. I agree completely. Yeah.
So here you are, you know, studying accounting and marketing, right, in Melbourne. Good on ya, mate.
Yeah.
So how did suddenly you went from accounting and marketing, how did this passion for swimming just, like, appeared in your life?
All right. So actually, I did college in I did college in Taylor's University in SS15.
Taylor's?
Subang, yeah.
We all know what happens in 15 lah. Huh?
So I did ICPU, International Canadian Pre-University. That course was really suited for me because I know 70% coursework, 30% examination. So I was a very practical person, hands-on. So then, so when I was younger, my sister actually started training first. When she was training with my head coach.
Okay.
So my head coach name is Uncle Lok. He started the Shaki swim team.
Okay.
And then now he's based in Sri KL. So the full swim team is called Sri KL Sharkies.
Okay,
Yup,
okay.
in Subang. So if you need competitive training, you know where to go, guys. Yeah, yeah.
He's supposed to promote his business, but he go and promote someone else, so it's okay.
Yeah. So then the thing is that there is a backstory, but to it, like, so when I was training when I was 15 years old, then I felt quite ill.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt quite ill. I had a autoimmune problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, where your joints are inflamed and your white blood cells attack your joints. So,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So you get fever and joint pains, and so I had to quit training. And then when I was 18, he called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing now? Do you want to come and coach?" So he said, because he needs coaches, you know, he had like so many students, and then he couldn't cope. So then he said, come and coach, and I'll teach you, and then it'll be good for you, you know. It's a part-time job as well. So yeah, so I used to do nights with him at Holiday Villa, and then afternoons in Sri KL. So after class would end around 3 o'clock. I'll just walk to Sri KL.
Down the street,
Just
literally.
down the street, yeah. And then I started coaching. And then I realized that I was coaching and learning from him. I didn't only learn from him though. I learned from one of my friends called Arif, another lady, another friend called Miss Yong, and then I learned also from Andrew. So the thing is that I think it was really good for me, because then I realized that I was pretty good at teaching. And very patient with children.
Okay.
And that's when I found, oh wow, and the passion actually started very, like, when you teach a kid who has zero knowledge of swimming, zero completely, especially if they're scared and terrified, and then suddenly out of nowhere, like, 6 months later, they're swimming up and down.
Yeah.
So that the thing is that, yes, swimming, the pay, I would say it's not bad, it's pretty good, it's comfortable, but the thing that I get from it, like the thrill, is like when the parents come, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The sense of satisfaction when you build your student from zero knowledge to being able to swim laps, and then that's how I started getting that passion,
So here you are, I'll just backtrack a little bit. You're talking about how you had this autoimmune disease, then you stopped for a while, and then you had this this teacher from the school. What's his name again?
Uncle Luke
from the Sharkies, right?
Yeah.
So he asked you, hey, could you help me coach some kids?
Yeah.
But at that point in time, what kind of qualification did you have? Like, did he see you swim? He was training you prior? Like, how did you, suddenly just say, hey, I can coach?
All right. So, in all honesty, when it comes to speed, I'm the slowest amongst the whole family. When it comes to speed in the club, I'm also the slowest coach. But the thing is that he trained me, and he was teaching me a lot of techniques outside when I was being a coach. He was, and I also observed how he coached. And I want to thank also Andrew and Miss Young, because they also taught me how to teach. And it's a big skill, to actually pass on knowledge to another coach, from coach to coach. So that's how I decided. And the thing is that my parents said, hey, it'd be good for you, Yeah, I know, stop taking money from me.
So the real reason was there, like, get a job, son.
Get a job, when you're 18. Yeah.
But that's beautiful though. I think I like the fact that, you actually learned this, not just from the coach who was teaching you.
Correct.
You observed, right?
Yeah.
And you also learned from others. So basically it was learning from your peers or from people who had better experiences from you, and you learned from there.
Correct.
So you mentioned that you are the slowest swimmer in your family. So you come from a family of swimmers as well, is it?
Yes. I would say just my generation, but the younger ones. So for example, my sister, she's a state water polo player.
Oh wow!
Yeah, state water polo player. And then there is my cousin, the youngest one. She is a state Selangor swimmer. Yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So but the thing is that it's very obvious, because, and then we have another two cousins, which is the state swimmers, elder sisters. They were also training, and they are just fast lah. They're really like fast, and they're not the fastest, but they're faster than me.
So got any competition at this time? Like, hey man, who's the fastest swimmer? Who's the coolest swimmer within your family? Got any pressure?
So I would say the coolest swimmer is obviously me.
Perhaps must promote himself lah.
So obviously me. I would say the most hardworking would be the my sister and the younger one, the youngest one. The other two, they like swimming, but it's not really their thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did they end up doing something swimming related like you as well?
So no. So my sister is a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
My the other cousin, which is the eldest, she is in film. Yep. And then the second one, she's graduating. She's about 22 this year. Yeah, economics, I think, in finance. And the youngest one is doing I think programming or IT. Yeah.
Okay, so you're the one that stuck with the swimming till now,
Yeah,
as a
I'm the
career.
one. Yeah, that's the one.
So perfect segue into the next section, right? So here you are, right? You found your love for swimming. You know, you're coaching the Sharkies. You've learned a lot. You've got your certification. You know, and you mentioned that you also enjoy teaching kids. Like what you said, like you just like that feeling of, hey man, from zero to being able to swim after 6 months, and you know the acknowledgement that you get from the parents.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to suddenly say, hey, you know what? I'm going to open my own swim school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a very actually it's a very I wouldn't say it's a sad story.
Ayo.
It's just like multiple chain of events.
Okay.
Multiple chain of events. So going back into the past, I wasn't very happy so I actually was an auditor.
Okay.
I was an auditor to a firm that I will not mention. Well, of course, it's the Big Four. But yeah, I mean, nothing bad about them. Nothing bad about them. It's just that I think the work culture for me wasn't the best. You know, you go to work at around 9 a.m. You come back. If it's really busy, you come back like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So I was falling sick every 3 weeks, and I was huge. I was like what, 100 kilos.
Huh?
Yeah, 100 kilos. Yes.
Yeah.
You couldn't see my neck.
my neck's still there.
So then after that, I decided to go and open a cafe.
Okay.
Yes, I opened a cafe in Jalan Sultan, Cichongkai. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Petaling
Okay.
Street. And then, I mean, business was okay. But then after that, I think when business was okay, but then it slowed down a bit. But then the thing that's a bit sad about this is when in 2017, end of the year, around like November, my dad, he got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, pancreatic cancer. So he did the operation. He did the Whipple operation, which is one of the hardest operations for cancer.
Yes.
And he was okay. But then I realized, just in case. So I was doing the cafe, and then when I found out he had cancer, I decided to, because the cafe was doing okay, but I wasn't getting any salary. So I decided to do some classes on the side to to get me by. And then in the end, from 1-2 students, it became 3 students, and then it just word of mouth. Yeah, just word of mouth. And then now I have about maybe 60 over students. And then that's when I closed the cafe in 2018 September. The reason being is because my dad got the relapse of the cancer.
Okay.
He was in remission for about 9 months, and then the cancer came back. So that's when I closed the cafe, and then I could be close to home.
Okay.
Yeah,
got
close
it,
to home. Yeah. So that's why I teach around PJ, and that's why I decided to. I was like, wow, the return is good. I enjoy it. And I like meeting people, because I don't only meet the children, I meet the parents, and I meet parents from different backgrounds, different type of jobs, and I also meet international parents, some of them. So it's pretty nice. You can learn about different things.
Not bad. You met a parent who's a podcaster.
Yeah, that's
currently.
exactly. This is one of the biggest examples. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean I get it, right? It makes total sense. You know, filial son, you want to make sure that you're there for your family, you know, make sure you're doing a business that's close by. I get it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's very noble. If anyone can do something like that. I mean, for me, similarly, I lost my dad to cancer. And yeah, I think the advice would be, again, you might have heard this a million times, right? But as much as we can, let's try to spend that time with our loved ones. You know, we don't want to regret any time being spent. So here you are, started with 3 students, word of mouth, here you are to 60, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about your business, you know, what kind of services you offer, and, you know, what is it that you do right now?
So right now, practically, I offer like learn how to swim, to swim classes to children 4 and above. preferably 4 and above. 3 and below, kind of hard. So the services that I provide is that I will teach them the basics of swimming. So how to put their head in the water, how to float. The two common strokes would be breaststroke and freestyle. So these are the two common strokes normally. And normally we always start with breaststroke because it's a bit slower and it's a bit more calm. Then after that we move to freestyle. Those are one of the services that I provide. And when they are confident and when they have reached a certain level, I feel that they can do it, then I will teach them backstroke and butterfly.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So you focus strictly on just children, or do you also focus on young adults for competitive swimming?
So I only focus on young children.
Okay.
For beginners. For competitive swimming, normally, like I said before, so if you want a competition training, go to Sri KL Sharkies. It's good. It'll be good for them because right now I think they're up and coming because a lot of the youngsters they go up. They've grown older, so they're pretty fast. Yeah.
So you carved your niche in a market that is just for children.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
I'm assuming you wanted to focus on there.
Yes.
Yeah. So didn't want to focus on like adults, or didn't want to focus on, competitive swimming for young adults.
So,
any reason for that?
The thing is that with competitive swimming, it's a vigorous training and it's every day. It has to be a daily thing. So when you are training for just say competitively, I would say club swimmers, they cover about maybe 3 to 3.5 km per swim, per session. State swimmers, they cover at least 4 to 4.5. And national swimmers, let's not talk about it, they cover like at least 6. Yeah, and it's per session is about 2 hours. Don't forget that it's 2 sessions a day. So it's about 10 km of swimming. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I run 10 km, so I'm tired, You're swimming 10 kilometers.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and the thing is also with adults, adult classes, the only thing that I don't do adults is because the flexibility of their time.
Understood.
Yeah, and weekends is when all the children's parents are free to bring their children. So to put in adults and adults, they are unpredictable schedules.
Yep.
So I've taught adults before. I remember teaching like a few of them, and then one of them would say, "Oh, sorry, I'm busy today. I'm stuck at work." Another one is like, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it today. I have to go for a camp." So that's why. And then the thing is that when you miss one class, it's okay. But if you consistently miss like 1 class, 2 classes, or sometimes in one month you only do 1 class, so the progression is very slow.
I think that's the key. When you want to learn something, consistency is always the key.
Yes.
I believe in that as well. Sometimes we get caught up in a few things. Like for me, I'm just started to pick up golf.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a tough sport. I don't understand why people like it, but 6 classes later, I realized, hey, not so bad lah. But that's the thing. Consistency is key. And yeah. And I get that. So here you are, carving your niche, focusing on kids, rightfully so. Now, the thing with kids, I mean, I've got 2 kids, you've got kids as well, right? Now, kids can be a little bit difficult lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I like to know is, number one, every child is different, right?
Correct.
So how do you tailor your teaching approach to different kinds of age groups and different kinds of children?
So the thing is, I learned through experience as well.
Okay.
And the thing is about, like you're saying, the services that I provide. I don't only teach swimming. I also teach safety. I also teach what do you do if anything were to happen. So when just say if you're talking about children 4 to 7 years old, I would more. The thing is that it depends on each child. So if the child is very, very scared. If the child is very, very scared, then I'll say, okay, let's play first. We'll play a bit. I have a few, like I have a ball. I have like a few balls in my bag. I have like diamonds as well, and then I have a frisbee. So I have toys on hand to make the class fun for them, make them comfortable with the water. So if they're like terribly scared, what I do normally is I would say, okay, you wear your goggles. And then take your frisbee. I'll take the frisbee and fill up with water, and I'll tell them, okay, I'm gonna pour water over your head. Just hold your breath. So let them get used to the water coming down their face. Yes, and then you do it a few times. Sometimes they are terrified of that too. So what I do is that, okay, I'll give them the frisbee. You pour the water over your own face. So when they do it themselves, they can't really like say, oh, you did it to me, but yeah.
And they can control.
And they can control the amount of water that comes
So
in.
I guess you get them away from that fear initially by introducing the water to them, or just putting like games to make it a little bit more fun in the initial stage.
Yeah.
Okay. So not bad. So here you are trying to teach these kids, right?
Yeah.
And again, kids being kids, right?
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing this business?
So I've been a coach since I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 32 now. So I wouldn't say that I've been coaching for 14 years because there was a break when I went.
You did your cafe and stuff,
cafe,
right?
Yeah. So I would say maybe confidently, maybe I've been coaching for about 7 years.
Okay.
About 7 years.
About 7 years.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, what would be the average or the right number of students for you to make financial sense to start a swim class in a new condo?
So I would say, just say minimum of 3. Minimum of 3, and I would just say it depends on the level. If they're all beginners, I would say maximum in that class will be 4 kids. Because if they're all, beginners, it's very dangerous. Yeah. So yeah, but if they're advanced, so here's the thing about advanced swimming means they can swim laps already. They know what to do. They won't drown. You can go up to even like 30. If they're advanced.
Oh wow.
Yeah, advanced students, yes.
Okay, so I'll draw a line here.
Yeah.
Now there are 2 types of kids. You've got, I would say, the beginners.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe the intermediate advanced.
Correct.
Let's say.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's go to the beginners a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when it comes to swimming is, I think people would deem it as a fun activity to do lah.
Yes.
Right? But because you're teaching, you need to balance a little bit discipline, structure, right? And fun. How do you balance the discipline side and the fun side?
All right. So this is always the fine line. Every class, and every first class, like first time meeting the students, first time, I always say, especially the beginners, I would say, okay, you do not enter the pool if you don't see me. That's the first rule. If you do not enter the pool if you don't see me, you don't enter the pool. That's the first thing. The second rule is, do not run around the pool. Yes, do not run around the pool, because I've had one incident where I've one incident where I told this kid, don't run, please don't run around the pool. He ran, he slipped,
knocked his head,
and he cut his chin. He's cut his chin. And then, but the mom was so understanding, The mom was like, "Oh yeah, coach, I'm so sorry." And I was like, I knew that you told him not to run. I said, but I was heartsick, he was crying and everything. Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't a Karen mom. Like, it was a Karen mom. Oh, coach, you should have put your eyes there. I'll sue you.
She'll say, why do you put the pavement there?
Say when a person streams, you get to follow along with the journey rather than you just trying to like Google things up and how do I get to A to B as fast as I can. Rather than that, it's more like enjoying the process together with someone else, reaching from point A to B.
Okay, so it's a journey. You're going to that journey.
Yeah.
Because I realized one thing, right? Like, I think when people have more responsibilities in their life, maybe they got no time to play the games, so they actually watch a streamer to follow the streamers. Okay, now I get it. What role can a parent play to actually help improve the swimming experience of their child when they're learning?
So, for example, if the child's really scared, you would tell the parents, okay, if when they go home, keep pouring water over the child's head. Like even during shower, or if they have time, whenever there's no class, bring them to the pool. If you have a bathtub, great. Use the bathtub to your advantage. The other thing is that if they want to improve their strokes, then they could bring their children to the pool and make sure to practice.
Practice lah.
Yeah, but there are very different various techniques where you can do it on the bed. Where you can do freestyle kicks on the bed. You can practice your hand breathing. You can also make sure that they put their hands right, put your head down, those kind of stuff. So those are the things where they can actually exercise at home. The thing is that my model, which is my daughter, so I video her and I send the video to parents. To say, okay, these are the movements you can do to improve their learning and their progression, and it has worked. It has worked a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good with that video. People can mimic and they can try
Yes.
to show that this is an example of what needs to be done.
Correct.
All right. So I drew that line. We spoke a little bit about the beginners, right?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the intermediate and advanced. So these are kids who already know how to swim.
Yes.
Right. So for these kids, do you try to introduce new strokes or do you improve their effectiveness, efficiencies? What do you do with the advanced and
So with the
intermediate
advanced groups, right? So there are 4 strokes, like we said. There is a freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. The hardest is butterfly. So once they've mastered, when I say master means they can swim 25 meters of each stroke, no problem, without stopping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Without stopping.
Without
Alright.
stopping. And then the thing is that, so then you try to improve their strokes as much as you can, until, fine tune, with the finesse, with the nice movement and smooth transition through the water. That's what you do. And then you can introduce plunging. Plunging.
What's plunging?
So, the Olympic swimmers, when they're standing on the podium,
Okay.
they're standing on a plunging board, you plunge inside. Yeah, you plunge inside to the water. You teach them how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after you teach them how to do that, you have to teach them once you plunge, what is the moves that come after that. Yeah. And then you can teach them also the tumble turn.
Okay.
The tumble turn is when Olympic meter 50 meters, 100 meters you have to go there and
Got
then
it,
you
got
have to
it,
come
got
back.
it,
Yeah.
got it.
But tumble turns only for 2 strokes. Freestyle and backstroke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because butterfly is both hands and breaststroke is both hands at the same time. So the rule is that you have to touch the wall with both hands every single time.
Then you still turn what? That's
Yeah.
not a tumble turn.
There's not a tumble. So but there's a technique. I think there's a technique for it. But you touch and then you transition back and you kick off the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? So let's just say this student who's an advanced or intermediate, they've improved their strokes, they've
Yeah.
gotten more efficient and effective. Do they then transition to a professional coach for competitive swimming? Is that kind of the plan?
So normally that is always the plan. But it depends on the parents and depends on the child.
Whether the interest is there.
Whether
lah.
interest is there.
So
Yes.
let's just put a number, like on a percentage level, right? How
Yeah.
many percent of children and parents realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to do competitive swimming. Based on your experience?
Based on my experience, if just say for my own business at the moment, I've only had maybe like 5 to 10 students that were interested, and then they went on and go and continue training. Whereas in Sri KL, a lot, like some of them out of like in the school, the old club, maybe out of like 100 students, there maybe like 40 of them end up doing competition training. But it depends how far they go. Yeah, it depends how far they go.
So
Yeah.
so here's the thing, right? I mean, in your opinion, you've been swimming for donkey years, right? You've
Yeah.
been teaching so many kids, from beginner to advanced, all the way to sending them to competitive swimming classes.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think are the long-term benefits of swimming on a child, for a child, both physically and mentally? What do you think?
So for me, swimming, one thing, it's not an easy sport. It's a very lonely sport. But if you're good at it, so one of the biggest things I think is discipline.
Okay.
It makes you very disciplined because swimming is not something where like for example you stop doing for 3 months or 5 months, 6 months, and you can still do it easy like before. So people train the craft for swimming, and people start as young as 4 years old to become competitive. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing, right?
4 years old to become competitive.
Yes.
These little kids.
Little kids.
Okay.
That's what they do in China actually.
Okay. Okay.
So and then when they start when the thing is the other benefits is that you become confident. You become confident in the water, and the most important actually, 70% of the world is covered in water. That is the biggest benefit in swimming. It's actually swimming. I would say it's not only a skill; it's a survival skill. Yeah. So I think everybody in the world should know how to swim.
Okay.
They should.
So,
yeah.
so you're speaking to someone who doesn't know how to swim,
Yeah.
and who has a fear of water.
Yeah.
That's me lah. All right. The only thing I can do lah is I can do that dog pedal,
Yeah.
But that was 25 meters of pingsan.
Yes.
So now, what advice would you give someone like me, who got a little bit of hydrophobia? I think that's the word, hydrophobia, scared of water, right? And who doesn't really know how to swim. What advice would you give someone like me?
I would advise to go for a class, go for a few classes to get confident first. Like start slow, because people with fear and people that are have traumatic experiences, the phobia of water and putting their head being submerged in, it's very normal. I had one student, he took 1 year how to swim.
Oh yes,
Yeah, he took 1 year, but now he's like a
water baby lah.
Water baby is like going up and up. He doesn't want to go home now after class. Yeah. So the thing is that I would suggest for a person like you to go for classes, and then don't have to be over ambitious and trying to do so many strokes. Just learn the breaststroke, the frog swim. Once you get that frog swim down, and you can go up and down, and you can float for a few, more. You can go 1-2 laps without stopping. Then you're good.
Okay.
And then that's the beginning, when where you can stand. Then I would suggest to actually go to a deeper pool where you cannot stand, and then try slowly to rid your fear. But slowly, like what I mean, like going inside the water, going down, and then coming back up. Like swimming back up, Yes.
So you're using those same techniques that you use as a child on me lah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I mean, I'm okay. I like the water. I love the water. It's just that there's that fear of not being able to swim.
Yeah.
So I always try to not go to the deep end. But yeah, it makes sense. Just
understand.
face your fears and go for it.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, now in your experience,
Yep.
about 60 kids you have right now, right?
Yeah.
And historically, maybe if you add all the kids, about 100 plus lah. Any success stories now? Any of your kids like right now are like like the best swimmer in the country or anything like that? Any success stories that you've had?
There are a lot of success stories where I mean, like, it's a team effort, not only me, not only my contribution. Because when I was in the club, I did more of the land training to the muscles, the push-ups, the sit-ups, the pull-ups, the skipping ropes, the squats, and everything. I managed their muscle building, and then I was also known for the stroke correction coach, where when the kids saw me, they all my colleagues would be like, you wanna do properly, or you wanna go correction with that coach? because they know when I'll make them repeat it like 1,000 times.
So you're a good cop, bad cop, you're the bad cop lah.
Yeah, I'm the bad cop. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but I like what you said, right?
Yeah.
It's a team effort. Similar like how you picked up swimming as a coach as well. It wasn't just that Shaki's coach, Mr. What again?
Mr. Uncle Look.
Uncle Look. It wasn't just Uncle Look. You had a bunch of people who
Yes.
actually helped you as well.
Yes.
And it's the same journey for these kids as well.
Yeah.
They can start with you, but then moving on, they'll learn from other coaches, or they'll hone their craft there.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think very clear. I mean, I do see the passion that you have, and for me, what I like is the fact that you love these kids. Like you just want to make sure that from zero they are able to swim in at least 6 months, to see that transition, to see that confidence, right?
Yeah.
And I see that. My son, when you're watching this, please, I know you're very scared, but you got to continue swimming. Consistency is key. When you watch this, you're older. Hopefully, you can swim by then. So, for you, right, as a swim instructor, swim coach, and your business, I mean, what's your goals and aspiration for the future, and what's the plans that you have for this business?
So actually, right now, my plans is the thing is I will continue coaching first. Build up some funds, to then I can transition to something else. I mean, like, it could be anything. It could be within the swimming industry. Yeah. It could be within the F&B industry. It could be multiple industries. You never know. The thing is, right now, because I mean, everybody knows COVID happened for me in 2020 to 2021.
It's a challenge.
It was a very big challenge. I lost a lot of money. I mean, not lost. It's just that you have to survive regardless. And 2020 wasn't that bad actually, because they got it under control by July. But then in 2021, that's when they open.
Yeah, that was challenging.
Yeah, that's challenging. And then I've been doing some research, and the thing is that opening a swim school is not going to be as easy as like that. It's because you think you have to bring something to the table that other swim schools can't provide. So, like, what can you provide? If you can provide a pool that is heated, and it's like, but the thing is that everybody has a pool that is heated now.
Huh, really?
Yeah, a lot of swim schools have pool that are heated.
Okay.
And the thing is that if so you got to bring something different to the table.
This is what you can bring.
Yeah.
I guarantee your child can swim in 3 months or your money back.
So we have that rule. We have that big.
I think my son failed already.
We have that big rule in swimming, or I think not only swimming, but any type of activity or sports, or not don't know about studies because they always say that but any type of sports, including swimming, we can never guarantee. We never guarantee that your child will be able to swim. We will never guarantee a timeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because some of them get a bit like high hopes. Yeah. Like some parents tell me it's like after one class, it's like, so can become an Olympic swimmer or not? After one class.
I had a skateboard instructor on this podcast as well, and the same thing. He's like, there are parents coming up to him, Coach, it's been 1 month. My son still cannot do kickflip. He's like, kickflip will take at least 6 months, It depends. So yeah, I think as parents out there, when you're doing all these extracurricular activities for your kids, always, manage your own expectation. Don't expect after like 1 week, right, they're going to be an Olympic superstar or the next Tony Hawk, right?
Yeah.
So set your expectations right. Let your child go through the motions. Like for my kid, I've brought him through computer classes, programming classes, football classes, skateboard classes, swim classes, right? I'm just trying to find what are the things that he really, really likes to do.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You can drive that discipline, but for me, and what I believe is I just want the child to experience as many things as they can. And
Of
then
course.
to move from there.
Yeah, that's when they can they can express themselves.
Yeah.
That's when they can find what they can find themselves. They can understand what they want and they need. Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Got it, buddy. So,
Yeah.
hey man, thanks. I mean, it's been a good session today. Like,
Yeah.
I really understand a little bit more about the business, the challenges that you go through,
Yeah.
and more importantly, what motivates you is the fact that
Yeah.
you just want these kids to succeed, right?
Correct,
You,
yeah.
you just like seeing that confidence being built.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks for being on the show. But I mean, before we end, I've always got a little bit of fun stuff. I got
Yeah.
some questions,
Sure.
I'm just gonna bang
Shoot,
only,
man,
all
shoot,
right?
no problem.
So, do you personally enjoy swimming yourself or not?
Yes, I do enjoy swimming myself personally. Because as we get older, one of the benefits also as we get older, there is no weight. There is no pressure on your joints when you swim.
So that is how you should sell it to me. Hey,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. And the thing is, you burn quite a lot of calories because you don't realize. It might show on your watch that the calories that you burn is lower, but actually it's higher because your body is actually burning a lot of energy to keep you warm.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So that's another thing. Lose weight, learn how to swim.
Yes,
So
yes.
where's the most adventurous place you've ever swam in your entire life?
The most adventurous place that I've ever swum in my entire life. Okay, I wouldn't say it was swimming. It was more like going under the water, and it wasn't that great lah.
Where is this?
It was in Janda Baik.
Ayo.
Yeah, in a river.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, I thought that oh yeah, sure. The water was cold, it was freezing. It wasn't cold, it was freezing, and I thought okay lah, let's put my head under the water. And all I saw was orange sand and mud, and I was like, then suddenly there was like a little fish. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. So that was very adventurous for me. Yeah. The other thing would be the diving pools.
Okay.
In all the competition pools or diving pools, and the thing is that I didn't know it was 20 meters deep. So I jumped in. I was like, wow. Yeah. So that was a bit of a shocker, but yeah, I found that quite interesting. Yeah.
I went to Krabi with my wife once, and we were on a kayak, right? Or canoe or kayak, one of those things. So I'm minding my own business, right? And then suddenly there was this branch, So I was trying to avoid the branch, not knowing that I capsized the whole kayak. Yeah. So to my wife who's watching this, sorry, but it was fun. Yeah. So I did it.
Yeah.
So let's just say, right? Okay, this question a little bit off, but I just have to
No
ask.
problem. Yeah.
When you're swimming, right?
Correct,
Especially when you're a teacher.
Yeah.
You got to wear some of those like tight clothes, spandex, tights or whatever.
Correct.
Let's just say suddenly for whatever reason, the blood suddenly rushing from your head to down south
Yeah.
How you cover line, bro?
All right. The thing is that when you send me the questions, I was like, oh wow. I saw that question. I was like, okay, I have to make sure that I have an answer for this question. Yeah.
Because sure, I'm going to ask.
Yes. So the thing is that with this, the beauty of swimming attire is that we wear swimming trunks.
Okay.
And swimming trunks is very, very body hugging.
Okay.
So the thing is that no matter how strong your friend is, it will never be able to pop up out of the swimming trunks anyways. Yeah, so it will definitely be pushed down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are instances where it's there. So what you do is, how we cover line is that You don't get out of the pool until, until it goes down.
Hi, I'm just enjoying the water, but it's freezing cold. It's okay.
Okay, yep. Or you just have like, think of something weird. Yeah.
Okay, so it's happened lah.
It's happened, of course. Yeah. I mean, the water is cold. Sometimes it's hot. Sometimes like, out of nowhere, you're like excited. You're racing with the kids, and then suddenly out of nowhere, it's like it sounded wrong, but yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean, just wear the right apparel and you should be fine.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so last question. I mean, I ask this to all my guests lah.
Yeah.
Right. What are the 3 best things for you to eat lah? Right. And where can we find them?
All right. Okay. First thing first. The 3 best things. First things first. My mother's cooking is always the best.
So see, this is the best answer so far in all the episodes I recorded. The best answer done already lah. What's the problem?
Yeah. So
but can all of us go to your mother's house and eat not?
That's the only part lah. Huh? Need to find a green card first. So okay, 3 best places that is my go-to normally. 3 best places. Okay, I love banana leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, I love banana leaf.
Okay, where, bro?
So I think so far I would say I think it's in Bangsa.
Okay.
Bangsa, it's called Rickshaw, I think. Rickshaw Bangsa.
Okay.
Rickshaw or Rickshaw, I think it's on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
They started at MCO and then they opened up, and I thought they really like it, really like stuck to me, because they had this during Christmas. They had this turkey biryani. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was like quite impressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not common. People normally end up saying the Krishnas, the Karnas of the world and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
But yeah. Rickshaw or rickshaw. I mean, I'll put it in the description later.
Yeah, sure.
In
Yeah.
Bangsa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that's one of the things that really sticks to me and everything. And then I think okay, it's very common. It's very common, I mean, I do drink alcohol.
Okay.
So normally after like a one night bender,
session
a session, you feel a bit tired and you want something to pick you up, right? I go for this chicken rice. This particular chicken rice that's in PJ. I mean, it's in DU lah, Damansara Utama, Damansara Kim. So it's the place is called Wan Shun.
Okay.
Damansara Kim.
Okay.
The chicken rice there is they've been there for years.
It's like a food store tai chow kind of thing
It's
lah.
it's like hawker store like practically.
Okay.
They've been there for years. When I say years, meaning right, I've been eating there since I was 7.
Okay.
I'm 32, guys. So 25 years just like that. Yeah, and they are one of the only ones that do soya sauce steamed chicken.
I mean, everyone does steamed chicken, my bro.
But this is their steamed chicken is not white.
Oh,
It's brown.
Okay.
So it's soya sauce steamed chicken.
What's it called again?
Wan Shun.
Wan Shun at Damansara Kim.
In Damansara Kim.
Okay, guys.
Behind the high school.
Okay.
Yeah, behind high school.
Got it.
And the third, I think I can't really say much because, okay, as you can see from my size, I love food. I don't really. Yeah, I have actually top 10 of whatever. But if you want me to say, I love Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Where's your go-to spot?
My go-to spot actually would be Ching Hee-gu in Damansara Uptown.
Okay.
Yeah.
You really can see, where you want to eat, everything is so uptown. Damansara. These Tamantun fellas they're not brave,
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so honestly, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting.
I think it was good. We just wanted to find out a little bit more about what you do, how you do what you do, and it's obvious that you like, what you're doing. So if people want to reach out to you, if you're especially around the Tamantun area, right? If you want to send your kids and you want them to learn how to swim, how can they contact you, buddy?
So normally right now, I keep it very simple. I keep it very personal. So you can contact me through my number.
Okay.
Yeah, they contact my number, or if they can find my Instagram, it'll be great. They can just hit me up on Facebook.
Okay.
So yeah. So for my Instagram, actually, I think it's Jash Kwong. Yeah, JASH KWONG. Not so much with Facebook anymore. Yeah,
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah, like they say, only old people use Facebook now.
I use Facebook lah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I got it.
Me too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll add your handle as well.
Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah.
thanks for being on the show, guys.
Yeah.
So for everyone out there, here's another episode of Find the Real, where I believe everyone has a story, and looking forward to see you guys for the next episode. Peace.
Thank you. Yeah.